When Jesus saw his mother there and the disciple he loved standing nearby, he said to her, "Woman, here is your son." And to the disciple, "Here is your mother." From that time on, this disciple took her into his home. So Jesus has just been up all night. He got arrested in the garden. He got dragged and beaten all the way to the temple, where he was then falsely accused and mocked, and then beaten some more. And then he spent the morning being dragged across town to the governor's palace, where he was then sentenced to be flogged and humiliated, beaten and spat upon, and ultimately rejected by his own people. And then from there, he marched all the way up to Golgotha, carrying the cross, knowing the fate that awaited him. He had to have been exhausted, and yet there, as he hung on the cross, dying, he looks down and he sees just a few people, his mother and the disciple he loved, amongst the other women who had followed him to the cross. And as he hangs on the cross, dying and exhausted, his mind goes out to his mother, who's there weeping for him. This is the same mother who searched for him, panicked, in the caravan on the way back to Nazareth. The same mother who held him in her arms as they fled to Egypt because an insecure ruler was killing off all the infants in their land. And it's the same mother who gave birth to her first son in the most uncomfortable of circumstances. And now here she was when he's dying, weeping for him. And his mind goes out to her. He still cared about her, even in his last moments. And with his mother and the other women who are mourning was one last disciple who remained, the disciple that Jesus loved, who we believe is John. John was there. All the other disciples had run away throughout the night. One guy even ran away naked when the guards seized his clothes, and he tore out of them to escape. Peter denied Jesus 3 times, even after making bold claims that he would follow Jesus all the way to death. But really, John was the only one that made it all the way up to the hill of Golgotha. And John was there, and he was ready to take on the responsibility that Jesus had for him in some of his last breaths. Being like Christ is more than just telling people who Jesus was. It's caring for them long after they begin their journey. It's becoming friends with them, and even going so far as to consider them family. This is what the second most important commandment that Jesus teaches us is: to love your neighbor as yourself. This is the most difficult command to follow because we know each other and we drive each other nuts. We're not perfect. We see each other rise and fall, and we have to forgive each other, and it gets exhausting. But it's what Jesus did and does for us.